In Missouri, there is a program for you to apply for rental and utility assistance. You can get help up to 12 months of back rent, utilities that you owe, and you can apply right now. Here's how to do it. I'm Elad Gross. I'm an attorney, and I'm a mediator with the St. Louis Mediation Project, which is an organization that provides free mediations, help with landlords and tenants who are trying to reach an agreement. So if you need any help, go ahead and reach out to St. Louis Mediation Project at stlmediationproject.org anytime, or just comment. I'll see it too. The statewide program that's available right now for folks is at a website called mohousingresources.com, and you're seeing that at the bottom of your screen right now. I'm going to show you how to get to that website, and once you get there, what links to follow, what resources there are, and how you can apply right now for up to 12 months of rental and utility assistance wherever you are in the state of Missouri. You'll go to mohousingresources.com, and when you get there, you'll see a whole bunch of information on the home page that you can see. There's some for renters, some for landlords. If you are a landlord, you can also start this application process, but if you're a tenant, so can you. If you are a tenant, you can qualify for rent and utility assistance for the whole 12-month period you're applying for or less. And if you're a landlord, you can only apply for the rent that period that you're doing it. Either way, you have to work with the other party. So if you're the landlord, you've still got to get the tenant on board with this. If you're the tenant, you've got to get your landlord on board. This is money, so hopefully you're both on board. But as I mentioned before, if you do need help kind of reaching an agreement beforehand, reach out to me, and happy to get you connected to the right folks. So let's look at what you would do if you are applying as a renter. You'll hover over the For the Renter section, click Learn More, and Apply, and we'll take you to a new page. Here you'll be able to scroll down. You'll be able to learn more about the program, which is called SAFHR. That stands for the State Assistance for Housing Relief. It is a very big program here in Missouri, and lots of states are receiving, all the states are receiving federal assistance right now, and this is the Missouri version of it. So you can learn more about it. You can click on that button. Definitely want to make sure that you are eligible. Not everybody is eligible. It does kind of give you the pretty quick rundown of it right here. So if your income level is below 80% of your area's median income, and if you don't know it because you don't have a chart about that, well, you can go ahead and click more details to see if you are eligible. There are charts here to show you, depending on what area you live in, whether you're above that threshold or not. Even if you are temporarily above it, let's say you lost your job because of the pandemic, or your hours were cut severely and you were making way less money than you normally do, you might still qualify even if now you are making more money, because during that time period you weren't. So if you do have any questions about that, these folks here who are administering the program, their organization is called MHDC. They do have a contact for this program in particular, so scroll all the way up. You'll see an email, so send them an email. That's an excellent way to get in contact with them. If you don't have email, you'll have to create one for this application anyway, so eventually you will have one, but you can also call them, and there's the phone number up here as well. So you can call, email, whichever works for you. But if you're worried about whether you are eligible or not, because at one point you think you were, definitely contact them. That's what they want you to do. And then you get here, how do I apply? If you scroll down, you can get a brochure to see some more information about MHDC, which, by the way, that stands for the Missouri Housing Development Commission, and that is a statewide organization. So how do I apply? You click Apply here, and now you'll see, hey, here's all the steps. So it will tell you what's required. You do have to have an email account. For the browser that you are using, you may be having trouble if you are using Internet Explorer. The ones that are recommended for this application are Google Chrome and Firefox. So that might be, if you've already kind of gone through this process and you're having trouble already, it might just be because of the browser that you're using. They also recommend that you do not do this on a phone. I know some folks only have a phone. I have helped folks do this on a phone. If you are using a phone, you can get this done, I think, but you'll have to back out a few times, like all the way back to the beginning, and then come and select the right section that you're working on. There are a few sections that you'll be doing during the application. Best situation is if you can have your phone handy, you'll see why soon, and if you can have either a laptop or a tablet, maybe you're at the library and you're using a computer there, but if you can get on some kind of a desktop program, that would be great. Do it. That would be awesome. So this is set up for a computer versus for some mobile device. So that's kind of the idea there. You'll walk through how do I apply. It says there's a pre-application. So that's really kind of the same tabs we were looking at before. You can check your eligibility again. There's a pre-application checklist that's really helpful for you to kind of go through. But what is good is the application itself will take you through all of those steps anyway. So don't worry too much if you started the application already and you didn't go through all of these things at the beginning. All right, so to apply, you will see there's a link right up here at the top, and it's step 1. It says visit the application portal. You'll create an account right there. And you'll be told, a bunch of other instructions. So I do recommend reading this whole thing, and it will give you an idea of what the timeline looks like once you do apply. But essentially, you apply, you fill out all the information that you can. You will then have to send, this system will then send contact to or communication to your landlord via email. So you'll need to have your landlord's email as well. The landlord will have to complete a couple of sections there. It's not too difficult at all, but the landlord will complete their section. They'll need to have usually a voided check or some kind of letter from the bank so that they know where to send the money. And they will need their W-9, so that's a tax form that they have. And then once that is done, it will come back to you. You'll see that the landlord has completed their information. You'll hit the review and submit button, and then it will go through the process of getting checked, and that's what's explained on this page here too. And then if everything goes well, then it will go and get processed, and it just takes a few weeks. If you do need to make some changes, they'll tell you, so you'll get an email, so make sure to monitor your email for your application, and they'll tell you if you have to upload anything else. If you don't hear anything for a few weeks, then you'll want to call in or send them an email just to see where everything is at. And that's why they have the phone number right down here. All right, so you do have more information. Make sure to read all of this, but when you're ready, go back up to step 2 and click Visit the Application Portal, and it will take you into a new tab, and you will see a new page with all this information. And again, it will give you more information about how to run through this. If you've got any questions, you can contact them. It's got all the eligibility information and when you are ready to apply, you might scroll down and you say, well, where's the apply button? Well, it's actually right up here on the right side of the screen. You'll see apply and a green button. At the very top, you'll also see log in and register. So if you're coming back here, you'll be able to log in with your password. So make sure to save your password. Don't forget that. But write that down somewhere where you have it safe so you always have it. But if you click on the apply button here, it will ask you to log in. And you can choose to log in with a Facebook account that you already have, a Twitter account that you already have, or a Google account. And that might make it easier for you, so that way you don't have to remember a new login, email, or password. If you don't have an account yet, you'll see email, password here, and I've got a program that saved my passwords for me, thankfully. But if you don't have one yet, or if you forgot your password and you've already logged in, you'll have that option. If you don't have one yet, you can't log in, and you might not understand, well, what do I do now? So at the very top, you'll see don't have a SurveyMonkey apply account, register. So then you'll click the register button up here if you do not want to log in with Facebook, Twitter, or a Google account. So just to show you what that looks like, if you can click on that register button, they'll tell you again which browser to use. Again, you'll have the option of registering with Facebook, Twitter, or Google, or you can type in your name, first name, last name, email, create a password, confirm your password, and then you'll be able to create your account. Okay, it will send you to a page like this once you've successfully registered. You'll go ahead and continue to the site. And it will tell you, all the instructions will be right out there for you. Application portal instructions, you can click here. Instructions for correcting your application, you can click here. So that's if you've already sent it in, you have to make a few changes. And you'll want to follow all of the instructions. So it says to begin a new application, click on the programs link at the top of the page or the view programs button below. All right, and you're like, well, where's the view programs button? Oh, it's right here, it's in green. Okay, so it tells me I have no applications started, and you can start one by clicking on this green button right here, or there's programs at the very top, and you can see, oh, my application, so in case you have any. And there's some options up here, too, for you to play around with if you'd like. So I'm going to click on View Programs. This is going to take me to the application portal, very close to the application portal. So now I'm choosing. So if I'm a landlord, I am selecting the one on the right. If I am a renter, then I'm going to select the one on the left. And I am doing this as a renter right now, so I'm going to click More. And it will send me back to a very similar page that I might have seen already. I'll click the Apply button at the upper right. And now I will see the application. At the very end, when this is all done, you're seeing right now a review button and a submit button. You're trying to make those active buttons for you to be able to send in everything. So the first thing that you'll have to do is you'll see at the very bottom your tasks. So you'll click on your tasks and you'll be able to click on SAFHR Eligibility Checklist. So that's the first thing that you'll go through. And so we'll ask you questions here. And you'll want to follow the instructions carefully, okay? So you'll certify all of these informations when you're checking yes. So I certify that I am a tenant of a residential property. This is located in the state of Missouri. You'll click yes, and you'll just go down the line here. And this one is really checking just for your eligibility. So there won't be as much information that you'll have to input here. It's mostly a certification. So just for these purposes, I'm going to show you here. Make sure to read all of these because this is very important for you to do. I have a few times, and I'm just doing this as a sample, so I'm not going to actually be submitting an application here. Please do not send in a fraudulent application because that's against the law, so don't do that. Okay. There's also an appeals policy here, so if you do have any issues, there's a link for that too, and you can read about it. Again, you'll be asked about the income ranges and everything else, so if you did not check that out before, you can hit this link and do that as well. When you get to the bottom of each of these pages, you'll see two options. There would be one that says Save and Continue Editing. So if you're in the middle and you don't have time to finish this, you can always hit Save and just come back to it and log in later. But when you're done with a section, you can go ahead and click Next, and it will take you to the next one. So this now will ask you, once you've completed this first form, it will say authorization to give your information, because you've got to disclose the information about payments, and you're going to give some of your personal financial information through here too. So you'll want to authorize all of this. In several of these sections, you will also have to sign, so you'll provide a signature. You can do this with a mouse, with a trackpad on a laptop, or if you are doing this on your phone, this is actually the big benefit of doing it on your phone, even though nothing else really works as well. But if you're doing it on a phone, you can also use a touch screen right there and use your mouse, write your name, whatever it is. So, okay, and then once you're done, you'll mark as complete. Once you finish that first section, you will get to a page just like this one, and you will see all of your responses that you provided, again, on the right side of the screen. On the left side of the screen, you'll see your tasks, and you'll see the one that you've just completed. It has a check mark by it. Now you'll see that there are a few other sections that have opened up, including Section 1 for your applicant information, Section 2 for financial assistance requests, Section 3 for your tenant application certification. So the way that you navigate between the different sections, and this is why some folks do get confused, so I want you to be aware of what's going on. On the left side of the page is how you are navigating between the different sections. If you are using your phone, because that's what you got, and you don't have a choice, and you got to use a phone, if you're using your phone, you'll actually have to back out each time once you're done with the section. So you'll mark it as complete, you'll get your green check, and then you'll have to back all the way out, and then you'll see the new sections open up as you get them completed. So you then go into each one, complete it, mark as complete, and then back yourself back out, go into the next one. That's if you're using a phone. If you're using a computer or some other device that allows you to do it, on the left side, you will see how you navigate. So, for example, I will click on Section 1. Section 1 will then ask me a whole bunch of questions, but let's say, oh, well, I filled out as much information as I could. I don't have a whole bunch, I still need to go collect some things. I didn't realize. You go all the way down to the bottom, hit save and continue editing, so that way you're saving your progress as you go. And then let's say, well, while I'm waiting to get that information, I'm going to go to Section 2. You're very welcome to go ahead and do that, and then you can complete information on another section. Each time, you'll go to the very bottom and you'll select Save and Continue Editing. That's what you want to do each time so you don't lose all of the information that you've been working on. So you can do that for any of the sections. You navigate by clicking on them on the left side of the screen. At the very bottom, you'll see one of 4 tasks complete, and that's on the left side. At the very bottom, you'll see how many tasks you've completed, and once all the tasks are completed, you'll be able to review and then submit. So let's go back to Section 1, and I'll show you some examples here. It's going to look for just some of your information. You'll want to fill out all of this completely. Make sure to look at everything. Every once in a while, you'll be asked to upload a file. So you can upload a scanned document if you have it. If you have a screenshot that you've taken, you can save that as an image and then upload that too. If you have, for example, this one is asking for a photo ID. Let's say you have your driver's license or state ID and you don't have it scanned in. You can actually use your phone, take a picture of it, and then send that to the computer or wherever else you want to send that to, or to an email, download it, and then upload that scanned. You're essentially using your phone camera to scan in that document, and you can upload that too. So that's okay too. They'll be able to take that information. But every once in a while, you will want to upload a file. You do that just by clicking on the button, and then it will ask you, hey, look at all of these things that you have on your computer that you can upload here. So you'll need to get it on your computer and do that. If you are having some issues with that, it might be because of the platform that you're using. So make sure, again, that you're using Google Chrome or Firefox on a computer versus a phone. Phone, you might have some more difficulty uploading that. But if you get it, hey, write the comment in. Let us know that it's working out for you. That would be great. So you want to answer all this information. Make sure, I know some folks, they forget themselves when they're applying. So make sure that when you're asked about who's in your household and age and all of that, include yourself too. Don't forget, you're in there as well. But make sure to do that. If anybody is using maybe a different name depending on what they've applied for before. For example, if you are receiving some kind of federal benefit, maybe you're receiving food stamps or something else. Maybe you had a different name and then you got married, but you're still on that program with a different name. Just include all of, maiden names, anything else, any of those names here, just to make it easier for the folks to verify in case you're sending documents that have different last names, for example, on them. Now, you may notice as you're completing this application that some of the numbers may skip around a little bit. So for example, when you see question 8 here, before you've completed some of the information, you'll see question 11. Don't worry about it. As you are filling out these answers, you'll have different options that become available because the system needs to collect different information depending on what you are telling it. If, for example, you're telling it, hey, I had no income and I was on food stamps, then you can use your food stamp letter, the account information that you have there for food stamps. You can upload that as proof. That will take care of some of the income requirements and the income proof requirements that you'll need on this one. Sometimes you might have to provide a pay stub. If all else fails, you may fill out a tax form, a 1040, and then upload that. Even if you haven't sent in the tax form yet, you can still upload that as proof as well. But they will need some kind of proof of either a lack of income, decreased income, or participation in some kind of a means-tested program that you're already on. So just be aware that you will need to upload all of that, and that's why it's important to do that checklist beforehand to make sure you have all of those documents. But if you're in the middle of the application, you didn't really do all that, and you see, hey, I really need to get these documents in order, no big deal. Always remember, scroll all the way down, hit save and continue, go get those documents, take a photo of them, get it uploaded, and you'll be just fine. Once you have done all of your tasks here, all of these check marks will appear, so they'll all be green. If you're kind of like halfway there and you haven't done it, it will be, kind of semicircle green. But once you've done that, you'll then have an option to send a request for a recommendation to your landlord. The landlord's not really recommending anything here. They're just filling out their piece of the information and sending it in. You will need your landlord's email, so just be aware of that, but that will appear as another section. You'll have to wait for them to complete their section before you can submit your application. The system will automatically send your landlord an email, but it's a good practice for you to let your landlord know, hey, I'm applying for this. I'm going to need you to fill out this form. You will need a W-9 and you will need some kind of voided check or some other information from your bank so that they can send the money directly to your landlord. So give your landlord a heads up. Let them know that it's coming and it will come by email and that they should complete it as soon as they can. And then once it's done, check your email. Make sure you're checking your email. And you'll get a notification that everything's good. Go back into the system, and you'll be able to press this submit button right here. If you need to make any changes, the system will let you know. You haven't heard anything for a few weeks, make sure to call them. But other than that, the payments will come. It should just be a few weeks of processing, and then the payments will come directly to your landlord and any utility companies that you're using as well. So that's how you apply for this. If you're having any particular issues, go ahead, put those in the comments. Let me know, and we'll see if we can get you particular answers to your problems. But fortunately, the system is here. It does allow you to save in the middle, which is a very big deal. And if you do need any help, make sure to contact the SAFHR folks at mo.safher@mhdc.com or call them at 1-833-541-1599. Make sure to go to mohousingresources.com. That's where you can apply for the program, check your eligibility, get your questions answered if you're having some issues while you're applying. They're there to help. You can also comment any issues that you might be having too. I'll check those. Or you can go to stlmediationproject.org. That's the St. Louis Mediation Project, which is providing free landlord-tenant mediations, which is help for you to reach an agreement with your landlord or your tenant, including help applying for programs just like this one too. This is such an important opportunity. If you've been getting these bills, you don't know how you're going to get around them, how you're going to pay everything off, this is such a wonderful opportunity. So make sure, don't delay, don't wait, go to the website right now, apply. If you do have any questions, reach out. and there's help out there right now. So make sure to do it. At STL Mediation Project, we've also got some additional resources there. I'm posting those everywhere I can find them too, so make sure to follow wherever you're watching this from, and we'll get more information out to you as it becomes available. So any questions, put them in. Hopefully this was helpful, and we'll talk soon.